All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Power Up with Pride 2019. We're here benefiting the Trevor Project, the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. We are just getting ready to set up for Super Mario Odyssey, a world peace run with King J0444. And we're really glad to have everybody here. I think we are about ready, so I'm going to turn it over to you, King J. Good luck and have fun.
All right, thank you. All right, so if timer's ready, I guess we can start. On go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, hi everybody. My name is King J0444. This is Super Mario Odyssey, one of the most popular speed games. It came out in 2017 from the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to be doing World Peace, which is basically what I consider extended any percent. It's basically any percent, but we have to go through every story progression in each kingdom, which means we have to beat all the main bosses and get all the multi-moons. So it leads to a little bit of extra routing, some out-of-bounds clipping that you'll be seeing, and some interesting, a lot of different changes over just normal any percent you're used to. So throughout the entire course of the run, you're going to hear me shaking my voice because motion controls are the future. And basically anytime I'm rolling or captured with something, shaking is the best option for everything. So as you can see, I'm getting a lot of speed off of these rolls because I'm shaking the controller. Unfortunately, it's like that. I wish it wasn't, but it's Nintendo. And so this is Cap Kingdom. This is basically our tutorial kingdom that we are in right now. It'll get more interesting once we get to our second or third kingdom when the route actually starts to deviate a bit. But for now, it's going to look kind of like any percent how that looks if you're knowledgeable on that. So yeah, you can definitely hear my voice shaking. I'm gonna apologize for that a couple times in the run. It's a fastest form of movement though, is roll shaking. So another thing I gotta worry about is throughout the entirety of this run, I need a total of 100 coins. So I'm gonna be going out of my way in some areas to actually grab some coins. It shouldn't be too hard. This run's routing for coins is very easy. Also, what you saw me do there was basically I threw my hat. I did something called the roll cancel vector, and that's going to be very important later for out of bounds clipping. And basically, what I do is I throw my hat and jump on the same frame, and I press the buttons one frame after another. It's a frame perfect input, and it gives me a big boost of speed while changing direction. So I use it sometimes in the run, but it's not very often until we get to out-of-bounds clipping, which I'll explain more in Sand Kingdom. So that's basically the tutorial stage. And now we actually get into the moon grabbing. There was no moons in Cap Kingdom. It's just introducing us to the game and the mechanics. So now we move on to Cascade, which is going to be our first kingdom that we bring to World Peace. So basically, World Peace means that I get the final story moon in the game, or in the not in the game, but in the I have to shake, but in the kingdom. So even though I'm not going to be grabbing every single story moon in the game. I will be skipping a few story moons and actually a couple. But I'm going to be getting all the main ones. So there is another category called All Story Moons where we have to get... it's basically no out-of-bounds clipping version of World Peace. But that's a little uninteresting in my opinion. Also, if you're wondering why why the game is in Japanese, thankfully Nintendo allowed you to change your text language in the game, so you can save a free 20 seconds throughout the entirety of any percent and World Peace just by switching our text around. So basically, Japanese characters just say more words and fewer symbols, and so it's easier for us to have less text boxes. Right there, I did something called Dino Skip. It just gets me having to go up the casual path, the intended path to get up to this boss fight. This is our first hard boss fight, I would say, which has some interesting strats for it. This is Madam Brutal, and we have to, we're basically going to be skipping, bouncing on this Chomp's head to stop it from charging forward at us and capturing it right after. That's not good. So yeah, and again, Mario Odyssey, if you've never seen it before, the main mechanic is that you can take control of other characters and enemies. So you're going to be seeing that a lot and seeing us use it to our advantage. So that's our first like actual world peace kingdom, and this is what I mean by the multi-moon, or for some reason in the Japanese text they are called grand moons, and I don't know why, but there you go. So that's our first of many that you'll be seeing. Get used to this cutscene. And even though the main goal is just to bring world peace to each kingdom, I still need to get some extra moons here and there in order to leave the kingdom. Each kingdom has a required amount, so this required amount is 5. So I only have 4 right now, so I need to grab 1 extra. So I'll go off to the side to grab one. Grand Moon sounds cool. Grand Moon does sound cooler than Multi-Moon, I agree. It's just weird that that's still in English, even though I'm playing in Japanese text, and I don't get that. Alright, so... There we go. Okay, so my game has a tendency to freeze there during that cutscene, I don't know why. It's basic... Yeah, I get that it's based off of Grand Stars. It's just... Again, I find it weird that that's the only part of the text that's in English still. So I'm playing on a physical copy of this game. Technically, the digital copy of Super Mario Odyssey is actually faster by a couple seconds, just because it's already pre-rendered onto your console and doesn't have to load from a Switch cartridge. But that's not really like a big time save. It saves like 5 seconds over the course of the run, just from loads. And I am currently playing on the newest version that added VR to this game, which is version 1.3. And the reason for that is because Nintendo fixed up loads for Breath of the Wild and for Super Mario Odyssey with the new VR modes they added in those games. And it saves over a minute over the course of any percent, just for loads if you were playing on 1.2. So we can still do the clips out of bounds, which is good, and it loads faster. So this is the best version to run on any kind of category for this game. So Sand Kingdom is where we're going to do our first out of bounds clip. There's 2 that we do in this run to skip a big amount of story moons that are unneeded to us. And we're going to be clipping inside of the inverted pyramid without... Oh, whoops, that's not good. Had to do a little bit of a rerouting there because I bonked. But we're going to be clipping inside of the inverted pyramid without grabbing the 2 single story moons that you normally would need to open the door. We can just clip inside it with some roll canceling, like I was talking about, but this roll canceling is a little bit harder because instead of doing 1 frame perfect input, we have to do 2. So that's going to be a little hard, and I hope I get it first try. I've been doing pretty good at it recently, trying not to jinx myself, knock on wood, but... Also, you'll see here, I've been doing this quite a lot, I just haven't mentioned it yet. I'm doing something called spin pounding, which is getting a big boost at the boost of speed from when I'm standing still. And the way that works is basically I spin my control stick around and do a spin ground pound, which is slightly faster than doing a normal ground pound. Basically it just gives me a bigger speed boost at the beginning of a roll, and it saves about 1.5 seconds each time I do it, and that might not sound like much, but it really adds up throughout the course of the run. There we go, that was a nice vector right there. So as you can see, I'm grabbing some extra moons here, even though they're not story moons, because again, we need enough to get out of Sand Kingdom by the end of World Peace. So I'm just going to grab some extra ones here. So the clip is coming up here, and it's something I really need to focus on. There's a specific setup. If you're playing on version 1.0, which is the first version of this game, before they patched anything into it, there is no setup. You can like clip into any part of the door, but Nintendo tried to patch out the out-of-bounds clips and made them really hard. So there's a specific part in the door now we need to clip into. So I'm going to go for it and hope we get a first try. Alright, so here's my... There goes nothing. That's all I can say. I'll explain it more when I actually get it. Okay, so first try is not that bad. Again, this took a lot of practice. It took me like an hour to get that my first time trying it, but basically what I did there was I pressed X, Y, and B while doing a ground pound roll all at the same time. And basically what that does is the game thinks that I'm jumping, long jumping, and throwing my hat all at the same time. And it confuses the game and basically makes Mario's hitbox non-existent for when he rolls out of it. So basically, it makes my hitbox non-existent for that short period of time for me to clip through the door and skip those first 2 multi-moons. And that saves it saves around like 2 minutes over all story moons. And now we're just gonna go fight our first boss of Sand Kingdom, which is Harriet. So if you have any donations or anything to mention, now would be a good time, because this boss is pretty straightforward.
Sure, we have got $20 from Arcarisai. I hope I said that right. Great charity, great event every year. Hope you can raise a ton of money for the Trevor Project. We've got $22 from Leggy Starstream. I'm talking Empire City. An anonymous $10 donations, 25 more from Leggy Starstream. Power Up with Pride makes me happy every single year. And this, previously, Steven Universe run is such a perfect fit. Shout outs to all the time I've spent listening to Giant Woman on loop when I'm feeling bad about myself. Donation goes to naming the Crystal's character Lobster, which unfortunately has passed, but thank you for that donation so much.
Awesome. That's great donations. Alright, so this was Harriet, and you saw some fast strats. Basically, every Brutal fight has fast strats. I didn't really mention the ones before because they weren't that big of a deal. I did mention the one for Madame Brutal, but there was Topper we fought beforehand, and didn't really talk about him because we'll be seeing him later. But Harriet, basically, you can hit her bombs back into her before they explode, and that basically skips her cycle, and then you can hit them back up. You can also hit her bombs back up when she's dropping them, and again, that skips her attacking cycle. So, just these small time saves save a lot of time over the course of the run. So, this is something you never see in any percent, and this is Dark Sand, because, again, this is World Peace. So, we have to go fight Neclotech now, which is going to be our final boss for this area. And normally we would grab a checkpoint, but because we didn't go up to the first story moon area, I'm just gonna go ahead and use these convenient power lines that are just hanging out here. And yeah, so again, another instance of a spin pound. Gains a lot of speed on the way down here. And these guys are always random. They will spawn, and thank God they spawn in a good a good spot there. And I didn't really mention this before, but when I spin pound off and spin pound roll off an edge, I can still throw my cap after and cap bounce like I just did there. Again, just small optimizations. This game is full of them, so small second time saves like that very much add up over the course of the run. Alright, so we're on our way to our last part of Sand Kingdom. Sand Kingdom, like I said, is probably the most changed of any of the kingdoms from any percent. The others being Seaside, Metro, Wooded also gets changed quite a bit. There's a lot that gets changed from your normal Mario Odyssey speedrun. And that's our last normal moon, because the rest of the normal moons we're going to be getting we're going to be getting from the Grand Moon, or the Multi-Moon. I don't know what to call it. I agree, this game is very pretty. This is one of my favorite speed games to run. This and Celeste are like my top favorites. Alright, so this is Neclotech. He doesn't have too many optimizations, except for a few, like, literally half-second time savers. Basically, it's your typical hand boss that Nintendo likes to do. So we're going to capture his hands and punch him in the face, and just rinse and repeat. The one thing I'm going to be doing here that'll speed up the section a little bit is I'm going to be rolling closer to him, and the reason why is because when he charges at me like this, he would normally charge at me all the way, but since I'm closer to him, he charges faster. It's a weird optimization that's in this boss, and I don't know why it is, but we'll take free time save. That's not good. These hands are really annoying, so when they shoot the ice, it's something I can't really control sometimes. All right, nice. And now he's gonna do. He's gonna start clapping at me. And this is just a time waster kind of fight, part of the fight where we can't really do anything to speed this up. We just have to dodge and not die. And we're just gonna dance here. So yeah, when you start doing this fight for like the first time, it's a little bit hard, but when you run this game as much as most Odyssey runners do, you get used to how the fight works. Another small optimization here, I'm going to be moving my camera upwards here, and the reason why is because Odyssey runs on the kind of idea that if it's not on the screen, it doesn't count, and so it doesn't render the multi-moon coming down until it's like kind of in the viewpoint. So I do a backflip there, and I move my camera up so that it spawns quicker, so I can grab it faster. And that is Sand Kingdom out of the way. Third try clip was okay. It could have been first try, but I'd say anything between first and fifth try is decent for a no reset, so I'll take that. There is one more clip that we have to do later, so we're not out of the clear yet, but it's a good start. And there we go. So along the way, I was collecting moons so that we can get out of here. We needed 16, and I made sure that that chest that I got in the frozen section was the last one to grab. All right, so now we're moving on to the Lake Kingdom. There are a couple kingdoms that are completely the same as their any percent counterpart, and this is one of them. Lake has not been changed whatsoever, so we're going to be doing the good old Lake Kingdom route that everybody knows. I'm not out here because I think it got patched out in 1.3 because I've never been able to do it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it got patched. And again, if there's anything else that needs to be said, there's nothing for this kingdom.
Well, we have a couple of donations here to read. We got 2, but we could always use some more. Philin donates $1. Hey, thank you for running this game, Varldin from the last run. I've been anxious to get a copy and try it. This was a lovely tour to kick off the marathon. Thank you to all the runners, organizers, and volunteers. Kindly, Philin and Queer Family. Thank you so much for that. Selen donates $4.20. I am Fury. I am Patience.
Very nice. So there is one skip I can talk about in Lake Kingdom that's kind of interesting. And it's basically called Fish Jump. Basically, when you can uncapture an enemy whenever you want, and doing that, we can actually skip an entire section of us having to go like through this town that's in this little bubble over here. So we get to skip that and just go straight to the boss fight, which is great because he gives us a multi-moon, and that's the fastest way to get up there. So it's going to be happening right here. It's a little wonky because sometimes we can drop inputs, but hopefully this won't be that bad. There we go. And very nice. I used to have a lot of troubles with that when I was starting off running this game. And this is Rango. Rango has like the best boss skips in the entire game because literally you can just ground pound through him because he doesn't have a hitbox when he's stunned, and it's really quick. Shouts to Couch for rating the stream, by the way. And that is Lake Kingdom. Again, some kingdoms are really short and some are very long, so this is an instance where we have a really short kingdom. So next up we're going to Wooded, and Wooded is interesting because we have 2 boss fights that we have to do, kind of like how we had to do 2 in Sand, but we can't skip any of them, so we're gonna have to go get some, do a really interesting route that isn't useful for people who do any percent. And yeah, here we go. So by the end of this run, I should have 124 moons. Again, we're just getting the bare minimum amount of moons to leave each kingdom. Just so we can leave as soon as we're done bringing peace to the world. And yeah, so Wooded has some interesting parts of it that I can easily mess up on. I'm gonna go for one trick that I never go for, just because it saves 5 seconds and I want to show off cool stuff for the marathon. So I'm gonna go all out, even though it might not end well. Basically, it's a roll boosted triple jump that can kill me if I don't do it right. And like I said, if I was going for PB, I would not be doing this. Okay, that bunny was pretty good. Catching that bunny is very annoying, so I'm glad that went well. Alright. So this, normally we would grab a moon from the shop here, but we don't have to in this category, because there are plenty of other moons for us to collect along the way. And I know this is going to sound lewd, and I don't mean for it to, but this is what I call the Nut Kingdom, because we're going to be busting a bunch of nuts here. And, yeah, so... and if you're playing this game in English, this game has a lot of wonderful text. Like, that's the one reason I like not writing this game in English, because these moons I'm grabbing have... let's just say you guys would be spamming Craigasm a lot, and I don't want that, so that's why I'm running in Japanese. That's secretly why. It's not because it's faster. That's not the reason. Why would I run it because it's faster? It's obviously because of the names. Alright, so right here we're going to do a really cool triple jump, except that I failed it, so that's cool. That was weird. Hitbox, cool. We'll just backflip onto this guy, whatever. So I didn't mention this, but each time I get hit, that's a really bad, it's really bad, and obviously it's bad if I get hit in a speedrun, no matter what, but the reason why it's bad is because it loses 4 seconds. It loses 2 seconds for showing me that I got hit, and then it loses 2 seconds after grabbing the next moon, because it shows this little cutscene of our health going back up. So, yeah, it's not good at all, so I'm going to try not to get hit for the most part. Alright, so I went for the trick and I got a first try, which I never do. Except I bonked! Okay, well, I went for it. I can't say it was worth it. Chinese text used to be thought that it was fastest, but it actually turned out to be Japanese by like a second and a half, I think. But Chinese is the second fastest language, but for the first like week that this game is out, we did think that Chinese, simplified Chinese was definitely faster. So yeah, that was a case of me. Oh wow, I got Instant-Nut. That has never happened in a run before there. I'll explain that after, but yeah. That jump I did was a roll boosted triple jump to skip having to do the Flower Road, and it's called Flower Road Skip. And I did pull it off, but then I bonked because I didn't have enough speed, so it was a little bit cool that I kind of got it. So yeah, what I did there, like I said, I got Instant-Nut. Basically, if you hit the very, very bottom pixel of a nut, it'll automatically break it instead of you bonking on it. So I just rolled right through it and didn't have to wait. It saves like 2 seconds, and it's like the smallest time save. Normally there's a setup I go for to get it, but I didn't even do the setup, so I'm proud of myself. So this is Spewart, by far the easiest Brutal in the entire game, because he has the easiest skip. If you own this game and you have not done this before, I don't know what to say. It's literally the easiest fight in the entire run. Alright, so there we go. That's our first boss of Wooded. We have more, though, because World Peace is a much different category. Alright, so like I said, that skip I never go for in a run, so I'm pretty... Even though I died going for it, I'm still glad I kinda was able to show it off. As long as it looks cool, that's all that matters. Alright. And I didn't mention this before because it's not really like that big of a deal, but there are a bunch of cutscenes throughout the course of World Peace, so I just want to shout out that Nintendo lets us skip every single cutscene in this entire game. It seems like with their newer games like Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, they really tried to make them good speedrun contender games, specifically Odyssey. Alright, that was a nice little triple jump there to skip having to go around and do this little side quest to get up to here. Just saves a little bit of time. So this is the other moon that I'm going to be grabbing, the last moon that isn't a story moon here. And again, it's just the one that's most in our way, most in our path. So you can get up here before doing the boss fight, before fighting Speward, but it wouldn't actually save time in World Peace. And the reason why is because this story moon right here does not spawn if you get here when before intended. So unfortunately, you can't do that. And again, that also requires a out-of-bounds clip called Moon Clip, which is not available on this version that we're playing on. Yeah, they actually listen to people's complaints, exactly. In my opinion, basically every 3D Mario game is a good speedrun, but I think this is the best one for newcomers to speedrunning and to veterans of speedrunning. There's a lot of diversity of tricks that you can choose from that you want to do and you don't want to do. There's a very open Discord and a lot of different categories to choose from. My personal favorites for running this game, I really like running Dark Side. I'm one of the few people who do. I like running Dark Side, and I like running Any Percent and World Peace. I'm not really into the longer categories yet, but I plan to. Alright, so this is our big boss fight for Wooded Kingdom. This is... I forget. I just call him the Flower Boss. I actually don't know if he has a name. But, I think he's just called, like, the Sacred Groves Flower Boss or whatever it is. So there's not really much to do except just stand up here and have a party, have a dance party. And yeah, that's basically this boss in general. I'm gonna try to beat him in one cycle. And sometimes I can hit his little bulbs here before they pop up protection of the gray blocks around them. So that saves a little bit of time and effort. And again, 3 hits the charm, just like every Nintendo game. And so like I said, every capture has like a different thing for shaking. When I'm the this little onion guy, I think his name, I forget what it's called. Yeah, whatever. Whenever I'm this onion, I'm just gonna call him an onion because that's what he looks like to me. If I shake, he goes a little bit higher, so I was able to do a couple skips that saves a little bit of time, like inside of the tower, and like getting on top of these blocks to dodge all of the oncoming danger. Alright, so there we go. That's all of Wooded Kingdom brought to World Peace. Another one of the kingdoms that was vastly changed from Any Percent, because we have to go do this boss fight and go out of our way. Mario is Steven Universe. I think we've confirmed this over this run and the past run. And so, I mentioned this, I think I mentioned this at the start of the run, but this is perfect for Power Up with Pride because we're getting different colored moons, so get your rainbows in chat. Alright, so that's, and again, we planned out our moons accordingly, so we would have just enough to leave after we beat that boss fight. And now we're heading on to Cloud Kingdom, which is going to be our first time fighting Bowser in this run. 1 of 2 times that we're going to be fighting Bowser. So Cloud Kingdom and Ruined Kingdom are kind of like the placeholder kingdoms. They're like supposed to make you feel excited about going to a kingdom. Like right now we're like, oh, we're going to Metro, I'm so excited. But no, we're going to be going to Cloud first and then Lost. So it's kind of just like a tease. And then it kind of shoves you into another kingdom you don't want to go to. So, but this is a mandatory kingdom. Thankfully, we don't have to do anything to bring peace to it other than just beat the bosses, which is Bowser in this case. Bowser has a few fast strats. I'm going to be trying to go for a trick called Capulus. I can do it up to 3 times, and basically what happens is, and this can be in both Bowser fights, basically if I hit Bowser's hat back to him close enough, that should be good. Actually, no, I have to throw my hat. So that was not Capulus. Basically, if I hit it close to him, I can grab the hat without using Cappy on it, and it just saves a little bit of time from not having to throw Cappy at it. So let's see if I get it here. I have a little bit of a setup for this one. There we go. And again, we can hit Bowser before he jumps away to another platform, so that's what I'm doing here. It skips like a good 3 minutes of this boss fight. And this should be his last phase. He's gonna shoot out a bunch of hats, these dark purple glowy hats that we don't want. There we go. So I got one Capulus, I guess that's okay. And next, coming up is another trick. This isn't the clip out of bounds or anything like that, but this is the next trick that I'm gonna need to focus a little bit for. And it's called, I call it meme tree, because that's basically what it is. This tree is a meme in my chat because it always messes us up and always loses runs. This is where runs come to die. This is Lost Kingdom, so we're going to be doing something called Klepto Skip. There's this whole story cutscene where Klepto kidnaps Cappy. But if we do some very precise triple jumps, so we never go into Klepto's line of sight, oh, that's not good, then he will never kidnap Cappy until, okay, there we go, that was first try, except for falling off the tree. He will never kidnap Cappy until you go into his line of sight again. But if we scare him, we basically trick the game into thinking that we, oh shoot, what am I doing? This is Dark Side Brain coming out of here. We basically trick the game into thinking that that story cutscene and that story event already happened. So you'll see it right here. I'm gonna go up to Klepto and I'm gonna scare him, and from then on we can go below his eyesight or his eye line. That's a weird way to say that. We're gonna go below his line of view and he won't capture us anymore, or yeah, trigger that cutscene anymore. So right here we're just gonna go this way, and there we go. So that skips the entire story event, and that saves about a minute. So yeah, another really big optimization if you know how to do it. Right here I'm gonna do a damage boost on purpose to spawn that moon. I can't speak today. I can spawn that moon without taking any damage. However, I didn't get the setup for it. So yeah, and basically, what I was doing beforehand with Meme Tree, basically if you triple jump around that on top of that tree, it's a very weird hitbox to do so, but you can pull off a triple jump off that tree, and when you do that, you get to the back side of the mountain, which is not in Klepto's line of sight, so we can get a couple moons from around there, and it's just easier that way. And there we go, that's Lost Kingdom. That was a pretty clean loss, in my opinion. And I could have death warped to the Odyssey, but it actually saves a second for me to get my hat back like I did there and roll back to the Odyssey. So now we're getting to Metro Kingdom. I don't know if this is a good idea, because we have a good handful of people watching. What I do in my chat is, coming up we have a boss fight called Mecha Wiggler. And this boss, if we can either get a 2-cycle or a 3-cycle, and if we get a 2-cycle, which is a little difficult, and it is also RNG based, it saves 30 seconds in the run, basically. So what I like my chat to do, whenever I exit the town hall, which I'll tell you when that is, I always like my chat, and they always do this all the time, they spam 2-cycle, and it basically gives me good omens. So I want to see if, the chat that's currently watching right now, if you would like to be a part of the run, and be a part of the legacy that is 2-cycle coming up here. It makes or break Dark Metro, so I hope staff is okay with me asking chat to spam. Everyone can say it once, though. That's the rule. Just once, because I don't want it to go too insane. So 1 spam per person to help me get 2-cycle. Not yet. Wait till I leave the building coming up here. But when I say go, I want to see a bunch of 2-cycle in chat. It makes me less nervous about it. Alright, so once I leave this building here... Oh god, that's not good. That's a bad start. That's not good. Oh, this is a bad Metro already. This is the town hall, and there is a jump at the end where I can jump to the door from the moon I'm gonna be grabbing, but because I'm a wimp and I don't want to lose a minute, I'm just going to do a safer approach to it and jump around to the door. It's gonna lose 10 seconds, but again, it's better than losing 1 minute. All right, so once I leave this door, everybody get ready. Yeah, Metro is rough. Specifically, Dark Metro is rough, in my opinion. Metro's a very big choke point. Metro and Lost. What was that? I died. Game. All right. Right here. I want to see some 2 cycles, everybody. Let's do it. I'm also grabbing this checkpoint here. This is for later. To warp to later in this kingdom. Let's see how much spam is gonna happen. Let's see how much I'm gonna break chat. Oh, come on. Come on. Bad first cycle. Let's go. Alright. Oh, I see it already. It's starting. Alright, so that was the first cycle. And now we get to the second cycle. So, this is what makes or break it here. This is what makes or break it. So, we're gonna find out if you guys spammed enough, is what I like to say. If chat didn't spam enough, well, then we're losing 30 seconds, but we'll see. And by that, I'm joking, because it's not your guys' fault, it's mine. But this is also RNG, because the way Wiggler moves here is gonna be completely RNG dependent, so if I hit him fast enough and hit all of his bulbs, he won't charge at us a third time, so that won't be 3 cycle. This is a very good setup right now. I think we got it. And there we go. That was actually a very good 2 cycle. Thank you, everybody in chat, for spamming. You guys saved the run. You can feel proud about yourselves. Congrats. The run is continuing, even though it wouldn't have reset anyways, because... Hi, we're doing a marathon. We did it, Reddit. We got 2 cycle. So this is the only multi-moon, other than Cascade, that's actually required to leave the kingdom. I'm pretty sure, actually. Yeah, I think so. Other than Ruined and... Yeah, other than Ruined, I think. And Bowser's later. So there we go. That was 2 cycle with Pride. Yeah, exactly. Can we just change the title to that? Alright, so now we get to Daytime Metro, which is much more exciting than Nighttime Metro, in my opinion. Nighttime Metro, other than 2 cycle, is really boring and bland. But we get an awesome trick to do here. And this is called City Dram. Which I think is my favorite trick in the entire run right here. So we throw Cappy here towards that pylon and then shake our controller to home it towards it, and it warps us over there, which is a amazing looking trick, and it's really cool. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead, and everybody hates this moon for some reason. I personally don't find a problem with it. We're just gonna use the RC car there. All right, so for the most part, it's gonna look like I'm doing 90%, but I'm not, because we have to get all the bandmates here, which means get your OTEPs ready. For anybody who's run Odyssey, you know the meme. You know that OTEP is like the best thing in the world. We praise our Lord and Savior OTEP. But at first we have to talk to a man on a bench, because if you're friends with people on the bench, they'll give you a shiny object. So just know that next time you see a very upset stranger on a bench, maybe just talk to him. Apparently that's what Odyssey is teaching us. But I think the best part of, and the best part why I love running World Peace so much is because we get a sing-along. We get to see the festival, which means I want chat to decide whether or not I'm gonna sing Jump Up Superstar. I do this all the time. I let chat decide if I'm gonna sing or not, so I wanna include you guys into this. Should I sing? Or should I not? Should I save you all the breaking of eardrums? Alright, so right here we're gonna go over to Mr. OTEP himself, everybody. I hope you're ready for this. The line that's most frequently quoted out of any Mario Odyssey run of all time. OTEP. There we go. Obviously sing. Oh god. Oh man, people are donating bits for me to sing. And now I feel obligated to. Okay, I guess I will. Sing your heart out. I won't promise it's gonna be good. I can promise that I'll do my best, and that's all that matters, right, guys? All right, so right there, that was one of the. We grabbed 2 checkpoints on the way through grabbing all those moons through through daytime and nighttime metro, and that's because we need to warp to grab these last 2 musicians. Yay! I've been told I do a good OTEP voice, so sadly we passed him already, but OTEP. We asked for sing. I said I will sing. I promise. It won't be until we get to it, guys. We have to wait till we get to the festival, so this is just my master plan for you guys to watch the entire run. What happened? Alright, so we're grabbing this moon here because I don't do the cool strat, and we're just going to do a nice little dive roll over here. Not the intended way to get this guy, but it's a cooler way in my opinion. There's always OTEP too. There's not really an OTEP. That guy who we talked to on the bench, some people think he says like cheese whiz after you leave. I think he says hey ladies, in my opinion, which is more funny. And now Pauline's gonna talk to us, but I can't understand her, guys. She's talking in Japanese, so I think I'm just gonna go hang out in the sewer because I didn't really get an idea of where to go. So, but hey, the sewer's gliding. Gliding? I really can't speak today. The sewer is glowing, so we're gonna go down here. Now, down here is another out of bounds clip that we could do, but it only saves 20 seconds if we do it first try. And if you miss it 3 times, it actually loses time, so I'm not gonna do it. Just because of risk versus reward, and I like reward over risk, so I'm gonna go with the reward. But this is basically the sewer, which we have to go through to get our last main story moon before we do the inevitable singing festival. Thankfully, I only have to sing like half the song because the rest of it gets cut off. Exactly, Lori. That is the motto I love to live by. Alright, so this is our last section before we get the inevitable, everybody's favorite part of the game, the festival. The New Donk City Festival. So we're gonna do that. There we go. We have to grab behind the switch or else it doesn't work. So there we go. Which, I don't know why we can't just grab all of these moons that are going to be processed here. It makes no sense. They're obviously hoarding power moons. That's the corrupt government of Metro Kingdom. Alright, so now Peach is gonna... Did I say Peach? Pauline's gonna ask me something. I don't know. I'm just gonna pick the top option because that's usually the best answer. And hey, look! Now it's time to party! I can't really hear my game audio, so I'm gonna hope I'm in time with it. I have to wait a couple seconds for it to actually start because the whole intro, so. You know what? I'm actually gonna do something a little bit interesting. I do this with all my World Peace runs. I'm gonna sing a parody of it because why not? Do. So yeah, this is the best part of it, that we actually get to do this in this run. Alright, let's go. Power up with pride. They ask me to do this run sometimes. I don't know how that rhymed. I'm making this up on the spot. Hopefully I don't get shot because this isn't gonna be good singing. Oh, I am jumping around and grabbing coins through the run. I don't know if I will die to PK. We're jumping over all these barrels because it's classic. Oh my god, I'm going to get hit. I don't know why I'm singing. It's peer pressure, it's finest. Alright, there we go. I'm done. I can't think of any good lyrics. This is one of my off days. Usually I think of better runs, or better lyrics that I can... I usually make jokes around like how the run is going and stuff like that, but hey, whatever. It is very interesting, entertaining singing. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's the only time I will sing on this run ever. King J for Smash, you know, that's something that I've heard quite a bit, surprisingly. But yeah, so that is a common thing that I do in my streams, especially in any run that I have to do the festival. I like making up a parody on the spot about either how the run is doing, about my chat, or if I'm feeling really weird, I'll just make up a parody about anything or anything at all. So now we're at a Metro. Now that's done. All right, so now we get to Snow Kingdom. This is where our next Out of Bounds clip is going to be. And yes, so this is our second and last Out of Bounds clip. This one's a little bit easier, but actually, in my opinion, Sand Kingdom one is a little bit easier, even though it's more precise. That one at least has a setup. This clip doesn't have a setup. It kind of just has a wall that we have to clip through and hope that we do. I do the easier wall because I'm a noob. Wait, I can't say that. I'm very good at this game. Believe me. But no, so I use the easier setup because it's easier and I like easy compared to literally 3 seconds of time save. Oh, I just realized I went out of the way. Oh shoot, that's not good. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some improv strats here. Okay, I'm gonna do some improv strats here and hope it works. So I've never actually done this before. I was supposed to grab Captain Toad on the outside part, and I totally blanked on that. So I'm gonna hope that I can route in this moon and it works out well. I also totally missed the moon. Oh my god, I am messing up Snow so badly. Okay, so this is a little skip here. He didn't know that, just to get back to the door. And again, that I wasn't supposed to do this, but lo and behold, I did it. On the fly routing, boys. We've never had to do this before in my life. I was supposed to grab Captain Toad and I didn't, so that was my fault. Alright, so depending on how good these Goombas are to me and how nice they are, I will either save or kill them. That actually should have been a donation incentive, save or kill the Goombas, but these guys were nice, I'll let them live today. We have to use them to get this moon right here. So you guys were nice, you didn't mess me up, so I will let you live. And this just shows how crazy hat bouncing is and how sequence breaky it is. Just look at how far we can jump with it. There we go. Alright, so right here is a trick that saves 1 second. I'm gonna try to go for it. It's called the pipe slurp, and it's my favorite trick in the run, or one of them at least. It's a frame perfect trick. Let's see if we get it. We didn't get it. So basically, it would have skipped the animation of Mario going down the pipe, and I missed it. So there you go. So this is the only moon that I'm gonna buy in the entire run, and it's just because I don't do Snowdram, which is a very hard strat that was made even harder on 1.3 somehow. All right, we're gonna go ahead and spin town out here. There we go. Now I have to go back and get the moon that I missed because I was dumb and forgot to grab this moon. Okay, please just grab it. Thank you. All right, now we can actually go do the clip. This clip is, again, I find it more hard, no one else finds it hard, so let's hope I get it first try so I don't look dumb. But we still have to grab 2 more moons first. All right, there we go. So we have to grab this moon, and then we're gonna go do a clip out of bounds. There we go. All right, I want you guys to guess how many tries it's gonna take me. Let's see. I'm gonna guess 2. That's not good. That's a bad start. That's 1. That does not count. I'm not even getting the roll cancel. Hey, there we go. All right, 3. So that's a cooler looking out of bounds in my opinion. Because you actually get to like stand out of bounds. But there we go. 3.5. Okay, well you're kind of right. In a way, I guess. All right, so I want to do something special for this. I want to do something very special. So coming up here is we have an intended race here. We have to do Bound Bowl racing, and basically there is a possibility that I can get a time, like it's timed part of the run. So I'm gonna make a deal. For every person that guesses perfectly, you get one guess. Who guesses perfectly to the second, it doesn't have to be to the millisecond. Whoever guesses what time I'm gonna get, I will donate $5 to the charity per person that that gets it right. So get your guesses in chat, one guess per person. I usually get around a minute, give or take. So get your guesses in. I want to see what it's gonna be. And like I said, per person who gets it right, I will donate $5 to Power Up with Pride. 12.4, yes, definitely slide. I see a 59, I see a 57, I see a 103, 102. See, it's risk versus reward for you guys, because you could all bank on one number, but then you could all get it wrong. So it's like, you could be safe and all just guess a different number. But I mean, where's the fun in that? There we go. So you may think that just getting the special bounce over and over that makes the sparkles come out of me would be faster, but it's actually a little bit slower than sometimes just normally bouncing over some sections there. That was a very bad bounce. So we're looking to be on a 1 minute pace. Yeah, around a minute. This is gonna be like a minute and 3, I think. And I'm gonna need someone in chat to tell me how many people got that. If I get under a minute, I'll be very proud of myself. Wow. All right, I got a 57.65. So let's see how many people got that. How much money am I gonna need to donate? Whoever picked any kind of 57. 2 people? All right, that's $10 I'll be donating at the end of this run. That's more, actually, to be fair, I was not expecting anyone to guess it. I thought people were gonna over-guess or under-guess, so I'm glad at least 1 or 2 people got it, so I can at least contribute a little bit. But there we go. Stream delay, that's why I asked for you guys to guess at the very beginning, so. And there we go, that is Snow Kingdom with 2 failed clips. You know what's ironic? We failed sand. We got sand 3rd try, and we also got snow 3rd try. So I guess this is just the 3rd try run in general. So there you go. So now we move on to Seaside, which is very changed from how it used to be. Wow, like 30 people got it right. I don't believe that. Look, I don't want to be broke. Okay, like I need some money. All right. Did anybody guess it on the dot? I wonder. Because I know someone guessed like 57.11. So that was pretty close. All right, so this is Seaside, which... Seaside's interesting because we have to hit 4 switches and then have a boss fight. So we have to get 3 moons out of the way on the way to that. And it's just really awkward because we have to hit all the switches as well. So routing Seaside was interesting for World Peace. Also, I would like to mention that World Peace is actually the 2nd most ran category of Odyssey, surprisingly. Celeste, sorry, not Celeste, why am I saying Celeste? Any percent is the most ran. I'm just like faltering all my words. Any percent is the most ran category with like 1,000 people, but then I think World Peace has like 100 or something like that, so it's up there. All right, so that's our first button, and yes, we do actually have to hit the buttons, or else it won't count as for unlocking the boss. All right, there we go. So this is a little interesting skip here because, fun fact, Nintendo actually planned for you to do this skip. You'll see that there's a Cappy text box right there by using a Gushin to skip up to that story moon. And fun fact, if you're playing in English, Cappy will say, wow, that's a very clever way of getting up here. So Nintendo knew. So it's kind of interesting. There's a few points like that in this game. And it's really cool to see Nintendo shout out speedrun strats like that. Also, nice pause buffering. I did that because it saves 7 seconds, totally, not because I was trying to skip the cutscene before the cutscene was actually there. If I say pause buffer, it makes it sound less like my fault. Alright, so you're probably wondering, like, you're supposed to be getting moons, right? Where are the extra moons that you're gonna be grabbing? Don't worry, I'm gonna get them sometime. Eventually, maybe, possibly. Or maybe we'll just not finish this run. There we go, we'll just grab this one. But no, we're gonna grab all the extra moons here on the way to our last switch. Because Seaside reminded you of Celeste? Haha, you got me there. Yeah, again, I'm a very big fan of Celeste speedrunning, so when I'm not speedrunning this game, I'm usually speedrunning Celeste. Alright, so this is our third one. Get a spin pound off. So usually spin pounds are best when you can buffer them during a cutscene, so during that, skipping that cutscene, I buffered that spin pound. That was very bad. Yeah, so we get moons in this game instead of stars because Nintendo wanted to be original. Alright, so we're going to use this Gushin, and hopefully he doesn't run out of water here. So the reason why I'm keeping this Gushin all the way through is because a Gushin refills its water that it can use whenever it grabs a moon, whenever it hits a checkpoint, or if it lands in a body of water. So we're going to use this Gushin to get up here, hit this checkpoint, and get Captain Toad. And that's our last moon for Seaside, except for the bosses and the last story moon we have to grab. So do a nice little spin pound here. Did I land in it? Ah, I like landing on that, but sometimes you don't get it. So this boss, this is a little bit of an interesting boss. I like to call this King Caliente because he reminds me of it from Mario Galaxy. But I forget what he's actually called. I don't know. I think he's just called Bublaine. So this is our boss for Seaside Kingdom. It's a very unique boss, but it is also a very annoying boss. It's actually very luck dependent on which place he can go to. But I can do a little bit of RNG manipulation, so I'm going to be doing that. So we have to use a Gushin on the top of his head for the first part no matter what, because you can't change that. But the second part, the second and third hits, we can actually ground pound on his head. But what I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to do that for this hit, because if we not do that, if we just spray his head like I did for the first part, for the second hit, it'll actually speed up his third phase. And he won't like spin around for too long than he would if we just ground pounded on him right now. So it actually saves a little bit of time, and like I mean like 20 seconds. So it is a pretty substantial time save, but nothing game breaking. There we go, and this will get his second hits. And now, like I said, he's going to be spending less time flying around here. So now, if I did this correctly, he should stop right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to stun him and ground pound, and he's dead. There we go. I am not going to say that entire name, but okay. Captain Toad is precious. I had to skip one. I accidentally skipped one of the Captain Toads we were supposed to grab. So that was my fault. So we made up for it by seeing him in Seaside. Yeah. We're going to soon do a backflip into this multi-moon, and that's Seaside. Seaside's one of the most annoying ones to bring to World Peace, so I'm glad that went decently well. Bublaine, more like Bublame. I agree. Seaside's my least favorite kingdom in the run. My favorite kingdom in this game is actually Wooded Kingdom because of the music and the steampunk kind of feel. I like it a lot, so. I don't know, Seaside just feels bland and generic. It just feels like one of those regular beach levels. But this scene right here, we don't get to stay in Seaside because we brought World Peace to it. But the scene where we get to see the sun rising up, it's very beautiful for this game. All right, so here we go. Oh yeah, Bublaine is the name of Seaside Kingdom. Gotcha. I know the lore of this game. I definitely don't. I'm just saying. All right, so now we move on to one of our last kingdoms, or one of our last main kingdoms. This is like the end game of the run. This is Luncheon Kingdom. Luncheon is a very changed kingdom from how it used to be. For any percent, we actually have to fight the boss fight in this, like the final boss fight for this area, which a lot of people really hate this boss, which is the bird Kukutiel. But I personally really like the boss fight because it has a lot of really cool strats for it. But before we do that, we have to fight Spirit, and he's the same boss as ever. He's the easiest as he's always been. So if anything you want to say, if there's any donations, that would be a good time.
Sure thing. We have $25 from Sheriff with no message, but the message of support is loud and clear. We've got some other incentives coming up too. You can check out on the donation website, but get those donations in, guys. I want to read some more stuff, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely get those donations in to help the cause. And yeah, like I said, the reason why I gave the mic off there was because Spirit does not change at all for the second time you fight him. At least the other bosses that you fight twice in this run, they at least changed something, but Spirit is the exact same and doesn't change at all. You just fight him in Luncheon Kingdom. Alright, so now this is where things really change up, because we have to get 2 multi-moons in Luncheon Kingdom now, so we have to kind of substitute out some fast moons for those. Just because it's what World Peace is. So these forks are interesting because if you flick the controller, it actually shoots you up higher. So that's what I did there to get up on top of the staircase. Right here, I like to call this the Gordon Ramsay because we're cooking and there's no lamb sauce. So yeah, there you go. Shout out to Gordon Ramsay. And I always, whenever I get to this part of the run, I always tell my chat to like put in their favorite Gordon Ramsay quote, and it's always good to see what people come up with. Alright, so, yeah, well, I mean, his arena is changed, yes. I meant the boss in general isn't changed, though. The fundamentals of the boss are the exact same. So right there, I just threw my hat down to, towards that box. And, yeah. And it just broke it in one hit. I didn't mention this before, but I've been doing this thing called insta-capturing, which basically what that does is if you throw your Cappy behind, I can't speak. If you throw Cappy behind an enemy or something that can be captured that has like a hat on or something like that, normally you have to throw Cappy at him twice, but if you throw it behind him and home it into him from behind, it's... I can't speak. It'll automatically capture him with one flick, so it actually won't count, as you won't have to do 2, which is better. Again, it's just small 1-second optimizations. And now we have to capture a Podoboo here. We're going to be seeing more of the Podoboos when we get to the second half of Luncheon. But we have to light up that torch here to get the moon. This game is like, there's moons everywhere in this game. There are actually 880 total unique moons in this game. And again, we're only grabbing 124 of them, and those are the fastest ones. So if you ever check out like a darker side or, oh god, a darker side or like even an all, those runs are crazy. So I would suggest checking those out if you haven't and you're interested in this game, because those runs are definitely far more interesting than the shorter categories that Odyssey is known for. Alright, so this is our first multi-moon of Luncheon Kingdom. There we go. Is that Sex Rex? Because he changed his name to Pringle Daddy. And, yeah. Alright, so... was that actually Gordon Ramsay? Did he actually say that at the TMP? That'd be great. Alright, so this is a moon that you definitely would never see in any percent. We're going to be getting a Scarecrow moon here. And the reason why is just because it's on our way to our next other set of moons. And it's just a fast one to grab. So we're just going to grab this here. And this is the only Scarecrow we grab in the entire run. So I agree. I agree. AUM is definitely a very fun category. I do plan to run the longer Odyssey categories. I just don't know when I will. I definitely need to have more time on my hands. So maybe when I come back from military summer training, I will get into that. But for now, I just run the slightly shorter categories. The longest one I run is Dark Side at about 2 hours, 10 minutes. Yeah, so Gordon Ramsay goes to the DMV. That's my favorite Gordon Ramsay show. All right, so okay, that was mean. So now we get to the cool movement here, which is inside the volcano. So right here we have more Potabo movement. If you didn't like how much I skipped the Potabo, don't worry, you get some Potabo action here. And right behind here, there's a hidden moon that we just grabbed here. Yeah, it's definitely a time commitment. And if for those who don't know, if I saw some people calling it all unique moons, it actually got the name got changed to just all moons now. So if you want to keep up to date on that. I still call it AUM because that's what I'm used to, but some people get mad if they're like, oh, it's not AUM anymore, but whatever. It's the same thing. All right, there we go. I did not check my ticker to make sure I have, make sure I grabbed all the moons I needed to grab. I hope I'm on pace for right amount. Okay, good, I am. I'm always worried when I get to this area because, it always seems random. Like I'm not good at like counting by just looking at my moon counter to see how many I need left. Also, shout out to Koopa Free Running for teaching me how to do this trick here to get up the mountain faster. If you want to like learn to get better movements, try PBing and like trying to get better times in Koopa Free Running. It'll definitely help. Which is basically a speedrun mode for each kingdom of the game. It definitely helps with fast strats and stuff like that and gets you learning more intense tricks and movement. All right, so this is Kukatiel, and this is the boss that I like to call hit her butt, because that's what you do. You hit her butt and it skips her cycle, so don't get mad at me, staff. I have to say this. Alright, I don't want to be lewd, but, like, this game pretty much hands it to me. Alright, so, there we go. So this boss is pretty... The hitboxes for Kukatiel is very annoying. It has really weird hitboxes. Oh, come on, like right there. Like, I literally hit the bottom of her. Her or him, I don't know. It's 2019. It could be whatever. Also, I see another fur fan in the chat. Awesome. I love seeing that. All right, there we go. See, that hitbox is really weird because I hit like the bottom of her nose and it barely hit it. So I don't know how that works. But that's Luncheon Kingdom. Oh yes, that emote. Gotta love it. Oh, good RNG. Good RNG. Get me up there. Thank you. Jeez. Alright, so that's Luncheon Kingdom. So from here on out, all that we just did from up until this point, that's all of the stuff that got changed from 80%. The rest of this run is purely 80%, just how you remember it. So everything from here on out, because we have to clear all the kingdoms no matter what. So the rest of the run is going to be fairly easier and less route dividing. But thankfully, I remembered the route for this kingdom. I'm always scared that I'll forget it, so I'm glad I remembered it. And yeah, there we go. That's Luncheon. So now we move on. Now, I don't know if you guys are okay with this, but I'm not really feeling Mario Odyssey. I think I'm gonna switch to Dark Souls right now. I know it's gonna mess up the schedule and stuff like that, but I just wanted to fight one boss in Dark Souls. Okay, it won't take any time because, fun fact, Nintendo actually added that Dark Souls boss into this game, and it's called Ruined Kingdom. So don't worry about it. It's not losing any time. They also added the mod for you to play as Mario in it, so it will still seem like it's Mario Odyssey. I promise. But yeah, I just feel like doing a Dark Souls 80% run right now. It'll only take like 3 minutes, so don't worry. We'll get right back to Odyssey in a second. I just feel like doing this, and yeah. I promise that it won't lose any time. We'll still be on schedule. But I noticed that there wasn't any Dark Souls on the schedule, so why not add some Dark Souls in there? See, like, look, doesn't this look like Dark Souls? Either that or it's Spyro the Dragon, but I feel like it's Dark Souls. I mean, like, it's a very gloomy environment. There's dead corpses all around. Oh, wait, no, they took that out, I guess. Well, that's upsetting. I guess they patched that out in the recent patch for Dark Souls for Switch. Yeah, I opened the wrong game. I've secretly been playing Dark Souls the entire time. Alright, so there we go. So, in all seriousness, this boss has some really cool skips. Specifically, what I'm doing is I'm damage boosting when I'm on top of the dragon, and I'm just standing on him when I shouldn't be. And then that just it skips me having to dodge around and stuff like that, and I can take off his spikes faster. Well, I guess his crown. I guess that's what you can call it. There we go. And just making sure I open up these hearts here to refill my health after each cycle is all the optimization you can get for this. Like, generally, this and Cloud, like I said, are very short kingdoms and will only, like, you'll only generally lose like a second or two due to like maybe not spamming A fast enough or small optimizations like ground pounding earlier than intended. But yeah, there we go. That's the boss. That's Ruined Kingdom, aka Dark Souls Kingdom. And fun fact, as soon as I hear this audio cue, so when I hear an audio cue, basically when I hear Mario walking forwards, I can jump and do a hat dive right into that multi-moon as it's lowering down. So that's a small time save. It saves having to wait for it to come down. And yeah, so that was Dark Souls 80%, guys. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. All right, now let's go back to Mario Odyssey. I know I deviated away from the plot. I'm sorry. I just wanted to show off that they actually added Dark Souls into this game, and it's pretty crazy because they lied to us. They said Dark Souls was coming in 2018 and actually came out in 2017. But now, in all seriousness, we get to go to Bowser's Kingdom, which is, in my opinion, one of the hardest kingdoms in the run. There's just a lot of hard skips, bosses, and a lot of really tight movement that I gotta do. So, yeah, exactly. It's Mario Souls. You got it. You got it correct there. All right, so this is our last main kingdom before the final kingdom in the game. This is the last kingdom, and we have to bring the one to Worlds, or else we can't actually leave it. We have to grab 2 extra moons along the way. It won't tell you that until you beat the kingdom. So we're gonna grab 2 moons along the way. I'm actually gonna grab one that's not in my route, just because I want to show off this glitch. It's another Dram strat, so I'm only doing this because it's cool. It doesn't save time. This is actually one of the longest, one of the least fast moons to grab, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this bird right here and grab this moon here, and hopefully I'll warp back up. I just wanted to show that off. I thought it was I thought it looked cool, so I wanted to show that one off. It's another Dram strat, and it's one that I enjoy doing, so I figured I would show that one off, even because like I'm behind PB anyways. Might as well just show stuff off just for fun now at this point. There we go. All right, so there are required story moons here, so we're gonna be getting 1, 2, 3. I think 3. Yeah, 3 story moons sounds about right, and then the multi-moon. And then we have to grab 1 extra power moon now from here on out. All right. So again, since there's a lot of grabbing story moons, there's gonna be a lot of skipping cutscenes. So enjoy me spamming my plus button. You're gonna be hearing tapping a lot. And for Bowser's Kingdom, there's a little bit of optimization. This part right here, the shards part, has like the most optimization, specifically because I can do stuff like that that roll cancel like I did just there. Oh, that was bad. And then there's also this shards routes actually got pretty optimized recently. I think after like a week of the game coming out, the way we got these shards changed by like a long shot. We used to get them way out of or in order, but now we get them in a way different order than we used to. All right, so the blocks to the corner over there is normally the moon that I grabbed, but because I did the dram strat, I don't have to grab that. So I don't know if that dram strat saves time or not, but again, I did it because it looked cool. And I wanted to do cool ones. Do you skip checkpoints on purpose? Yes, I do skip checkpoints because generally I never... The only deaths I do in this run are intentional. For the most part, yeah, sure, there'll be a few instances where I'll die once or twice, but for the most part, I've played this game so many times that I don't have to worry about dying, even in the hardest parts of the run. So I never really grab the checkpoints unless I'm trying to refill health. All right, so that was our last moon we grabbed there on that building, and we did a cool little ground pound jump to it. So I know everybody fights over which boss to do first is faster. I'm on Team Harriet first. I know everybody likes doing Team Topper first, but we have to fight these two brutals for the second time. We saw Harriet like literally an hour ago in Sand Kingdom after doing our first clip, but now we have to fight her again in Bowser's Kingdom. We actually have to do the skip. It's actually a little bit harder now to do the skip because we have to jump to the side to hit her ball back at her, so like that. So it's a little bit harder, a little bit tighter of a gap, so yeah. But if you're good, like me, if you're a skilled gamer sometimes, it shouldn't be too bad. Again, I got used to this after like a week of running any percent. You just catch on to this kind of stuff. And so that's the first boss. Now we have to go fight Topper. Topper, for the second time, is, in my opinion, the hardest part of Bowser's Kingdom. Yeah, there's Mecha Brutal, but Mecha Brutal has some setups recently found for it. Topper is way harder because he sends out more hats this time around. We can jump on him like that. That was the easy cycle, though. Now he sends out even more. Okay, that was a good one. That was a perfect Topper fight. And again, we can just jump on him when he's spinning and kill him fast. That was a perfect first half of Bowser's Kingdom. I'm proud of myself there. Alright, but yeah, and like someone was asking, yeah, we do... Unless the checkpoints are right in our way, we generally won't pick up checkpoints unless we have to warp to them later. Oh god, there we go. Which we don't have to for Bowser's Kingdom. The only time that we have to warp to any checkpoint throughout the course of this run is during Metro Kingdom, which we've already done. Alright, so now it comes to the final climb. We don't have to get any moons, we just have to climb up to the Mecha Brutal boss fight. And this is, for newcomers to running Mario Odyssey, this is probably like the hardest boss for them to do, especially for like beginners. But if you know how Mecha Brutal works, it's actually not that bad. I don't do birdless strats. I know I'm a wimp. Again, that's just something I haven't gotten to learning yet. My time isn't that optimized to have to do it yet. So I use the Pokio, and it loses 10 seconds. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Losing time. I know. It's insane. All right. So that's bad. And again, Pokio, if you shake with the Pokio, you get launched way higher than you normally would. So you could either do like these little flimsy jumps, or you can do those giant spin jumps that I was doing there. So this is Mecha Brutal. This is the big bad of the game. Well, there's the final boss, which is Bowser, but he's not really a big threat. This is like the last choke point of the run. Well, one of the last choke points of the run is this boss fight. So we're gonna go ahead and capture this Pokio here, and we're gonna hit. Okay, I hit the right one. That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and hit 2 bombs back into him. He's gonna fall over. Now, this is where casuals and speedrunners differ. So it may look like I'm doing it normally, but I'm not. So I'm gonna hop back on him, and this is not intended. You're not supposed to be able to do this. Well, you can, but it's not intended for you to do this. You're supposed to do the whole thing again, like grabbing another Pokio, hitting more bombs at him, but because of how Mecha Brutal works, we can get back on him with hat bounces. like that one right there was probably the hardest one to get back on. And we can half bounce back on him and then hit the brutals and ground pound on them out of order. So it skips having to do this, and Mecha Brutal Skip, which is what this is called, it saves about 3 minutes. And if you do birdless strats, then it actually saves about 4 minutes over doing the boss normally. And so I'm just gonna wait for him to stomp 5 times here, ground pound off this side on Rango, and then the last one is Harriet right here, which I hope I land on it. Oh my god, that was so lucky. There we go, and we ground pound Harriet, and we're done Bowser's Kingdom. In my opinion, that was a really good Bowser's Kingdom. So now we have like a lot of cutscenes. So if there's anything to to mention, this is like your perfect time to go for it. You got like a minute.
Well, I don't have any donation messages to read right now, but I bet we'll get some eventually. I can remind you all that this is Power Up with Pride. I'm sure you knew that. We're benefiting the Trevor Project, a fantastic organization. And we have a little cool thing going on for everybody right now. We've partnered with the Yeti. We've got some event tees. They're only available during the marathon. If you type exclamation Yeti, Y-E-T-E-E, in chat, or you could go directly to theyeti.com/PUWP and check out those fantastic special edition shirts specifically for the marathon. But you guys got to get some. You guys got to get me something, because folks got to get me something to read here. I apologize if I say, guys, it's a total force of habit. I don't mean it. Sorry, chat. I love you. Total streamer force of habit.
Oh yeah, I have that too. Don't worry.
Okay.
I think I said that a couple times.
Yeah, I said that. I was just like, oh man, like.
We can't do this. No. All right, so that's 124 moons, and that's our last moon dump of the entire run. We're going to be going to Moon Kingdom of the game. And so coming up here is our last big skip. This skip saves the most amount of time of anything up until this course of the run. Maybe not the out of bounds clips, but this is the biggest skip in any percent at least. This is what we call Moon Skip, and I'm actually kind of famous for this skip. Back in the day when they allowed it to be on speedrun.com, I was the person who actually made a consistent setup for this skip. Back when the skip was first found, we didn't really know how it worked, but I kind of worked around it, and I figured out how it actually works, and now we have a consistent setup. So every setup that current streamers use either was found by me or was kind of updated from the one that I made. I'm kind of like the founder of the skip, so it holds a deep place in my heart. I love the skip a lot. And so yeah, like I said, this is the last kingdom, so time isn't gonna be for like a couple minutes, but just letting you know, time is coming soon. Sooner than you expect. Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick vectored triple jump here so I can gain some speed, because Mario gains more speed when he moves on 45-degree angles. And we're just gonna go ahead and do Moon Cave Skip. And there we go, first try. So basically what I did there was, normally when you do a wall jump, you're not supposed to be allowed to do another wall jump until you've landed on the ground and jumped again. But because, or at least if you've fallen from a high enough distance, you can wall jump a second time on the same wall. But the way that I did that, that wall is angled so perfect, like in the perfect way, that we can get a second wall jump off if we angle it perfectly. So what I do is I have a very precise visual cue that I use. So I wall jump on that visual cue, and then if I hold directly left, I'll hit the angled parts. That'll let me wall jump a second time. So yeah, it's a very cool skip. In my opinion, it's one of the most unique skips in at the end of any Mario game. It's kind of like the BLJs of this game. It's not as hard, but and not as luck dependent as BLJs, but it's basically the big end of the run skip that everybody uses. So if you don't use Moon Cave Skip, or Moon Skip as it's abbreviated to, I suggest checking out my tutorial. It's not on speedrun.com anymore. They took it off because now everybody knows how to do it, but if you're just getting into this game, it's a very good tutorial to check out. It explains how it works and the setup that everybody uses now. And since I'm at the end of the run, I do want to mention something. If anybody, my runs and my commentary and stuff like that, I do stream, but I don't stream on Twitch. I just want that to be pointed out. I mainly stream on YouTube, so it is KingJ0444. If you want to follow me there, you can follow my Twitch, but I only stream there for marathon runs. Just warning. And yeah, this is Bowser. He's basically a harder version of Cloud Kingdom, but he's nothing special. So we're about to get to the escape sequence, and that'll be the big end part of the game. And we are actually on PB pace, which is very crazy because I golded a couple splits at the end. So this is the escape sequence. So this is like a 2-minute warning for timer. The time is going to be at the end of this sequence of the breaking the rocks when I shoot out of the last zip line with Bowser. And honestly, when Mario Odyssey was first shown off that we can capture enemies, we all knew this was going to be the end. We were like, at the end, we're going to be capturing Bowser, aren't we? And lo and behold, here we are. There are a few skips we can go for right here. We can do a triple jump to skip having to go around there. It's a little time save. Yeah, my PB currently is a 126.52. I got it last night actually while practicing for this, so getting another PB the day after is pretty nice, if I do say so myself. All right, so there we go. We're just gonna go ahead and do this 2D section. The 1 minute remaining part is when we break through the seam coming up here. And that's when I want you all, everybody knows, get your sour pleases, your omega lulls, whatever you guys use for end of runs. I want to see them all to get us hyped up for this. Because this has actually been a pretty decent run for my standards. Alright, so here we go. Our final section here. Marathon PB hype? I think so. Unless we really fail on pillars. Pretty much a given now. Alright, so let's hope I get this pillar. I'm trying to shoot these fireballs off. You can shake to shoot fireballs as Bowser. Alright, I got a decent amount of fireballs. It didn't really save any time, though. Alright, so again, we have to break all these pillars. That's why I call the anime section, because it's basically that. Because this song that's playing is as anime as Mario will ever get, let's be honest. Alright. No! Okay, I shouldn't have said anything. Alright, you got like 4 more minutes. PB's dead, boys. That's what I call the troll hole. So the game ate my input and blamed my controller. I walked into a pit there, and I couldn't do anything about it. The game ate my jump input, so the run's dead now. That's only happened to me one other time, and it's a commonly known glitch. It sucks that it had to happen here. That's very upsetting, dude. Again, I couldn't do anything about that. The game froze for a second, and it cut off my jump input. Well, hope you guys enjoy Bowser. Get the sour pleases back, guys. Get them back. Oh man, that's upsetting. Oh well. Well, at least I don't have to verify the run after this. That's so upsetting. Oh well, at least we'll be under estimate. Hopefully, as long as that doesn't happen again. And yeah, if you die there, you go start of that section. That's a Monka-esque moment right there. Oh, I'm so upset. I'm so salty. That's never happened. Not in a marathon, at least, or that hasn't happened in like 2 years or something. Let's see if we can at least get sub 130. That's a big rip, boys. Oh well. What are you gonna do? That's what I like to call controller RNG, if I did say so myself. Again, I couldn't do anything about that. Again, my jump just got eaten there too. It's a problem that Odyssey has. So, yeah. Couldn't do anything about that. Alright, now we're done. So get ready on time. It's gonna be in about like 15 seconds as soon as I shoot out of this wire here. It's an upsetting run, or an upsetting end, but whatever. At this point, I'm just glad to be done after that. So time is happening in 3, 2, 1, time. That's a 128.40. That could have been a PB, but we lost 2 minutes because of what happened. All right. And that's Super Mario Odyssey. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching and coming out. We were on PB pace, but hey, just time saved for the next run that I do of this. That was World Peace. We officially brought peace to all 14 kingdoms in the run. And yeah, thank you for the GGs. Thank you, everybody who came out and supported during the run. And thank you for Power Up with Pride for letting me run. I was kind of last minute added in to run this. And I'm glad to be showing off Odyssey. It's very much an honor since this game is so popular to be the one running this. So enjoy the rest of the marathon, guys, and enjoy, I think, Portal is next. So have fun with that.